Well, it's happening. It seems that it's trending. Once again, Kathleen Kennedy, the CEO or producer or whatever, the president of LucasArts or Lucas Films, is trending on Twitter and social media once again for the absolute disaster that she's put together of Indiana Jones 5 and the Dial of Destiny. After Solo and the latest Star Wars trilogy under her belt, she now holds the record for one of the worst performing CEOs or whatever her title is for Disney run movies, because they continue to pile up the losses. Disney is hurting financially bad after this, and I think Kathleen Kennedy is probably one of the points of contention where a lot of people are pointing the finger right now as to why this is not a good thing. A lot of people are asking, how does Kathleen Kennedy even still have a job? Well, she's been in the industry for a long time, and when you have that experience in the industry, that's how you maintain these positions in the industry, is you just go with the flow. She's been here before, she's been down and out, she's been told that she's got to go, but this time I think it's a little bit more different. For the past several days, the internet has been focused on the astounding Independence Day failure of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which was beaten on opening day by the anti-human trafficking indie movie starring Jim Caviezel, Sound of Freedom. Sound of Freedom, just so we get to the numbers here, had a $14 million budget. Indiana Jones had a $300 million budget. And hey, let's throw The Flash in here too. That had a $200 million budget. The Flash is currently sitting at 262 worldwide. That's deemed a failure because that does not include the marketing and the commercials, everything that they spend money on. I believe The Flash even had a Super Bowl commercial, and those are not cheap. Now, Indiana Jones currently at 248. It's doing reasonably okay. It might make its money back, but it sounds like going forward, it's going to have one of the worst performing week after week for a movie of this caliber. Editor Cinder Shadow here, just going to throw this in there, like and subscribe, but also to point out that yes, The Flash is not a Disney movie, but because it's a recent box office failure, that's why I made the comparison. At $300 million, you would expect this to do probably about $1.5 billion, and I don't think it's going to even get close to that. The Flash getting 262 over 200 million. These blockbuster films where all the money gets tossed is absolutely ridiculous. Meanwhile, The Sound of Freedom, $14 million makes $41 million, and that's up and above. That's doubled. That's almost triple. That's insanity for the amount of money a indie movie is making. I believe it was Insidious even doubled its opening box weekend. I think it was close to 24, and that was another like $14 million budget style movie. And that's where the money is being made, is in these indie movies, these movies that just have a decent budget. When you have millions of dollars, you have a decent budget, and then they just make money. They make money hand over fist. Look at the Mario movie. They made over $1 billion on 100 million. Like, these movies are, when you're dealing with this much money, you're not doing anyone a failure when you absolutely flop the movie and just put in the politics behind it and all of these other things behind it. Now, on top of this article I have found here, it even talks about Rian Johnson backfiring, but it also talks about Phoebe Waller-Bridge, which is the co-star in Indy 5, also being notable distinction because she was in the Star Wars movie that it also performed poorly. So this is where we are now. It's the ongoing same actors that they keep putting into these, or actresses that they keep putting into these movies, and then running the show is Kathleen Kennedy running that ship. She can't write it because it's absolutely falling on its head. Also in all this stuff, Harrison Ford puts out a heart-filled thank to the fans. It's something that's great to see from Harrison Ford, but the movie just doesn't perform as well as it once could. Remember, Harrison Ford was just a prop hand when he stepped into the role of Indiana Jones, and he moved on to something more, something greater than himself. He gave life to Indy, and in the newest movie, it's The Life Is Gone. A lot of people are describing it as he's sleepy, he's cranky, he's tired. He's an old man that just doesn't have it in him. Much the same of what they turned Luke Skywalker into for the Star Wars movies. He became a hermit. He became grumpy. He became a shell of his former self. That passion and the passion of these characters are gone. It's been siphoned by Disney with Kathleen Kennedy at the helm. And this is why we're not seeing the same thing. We're not feeling the same rhetoric and the same nostalgic feeling from these movies, because they're just tired and dated and old. And it's not that it's new and something great, it's got the Disney magic that is no longer magical. The magic has lost in Disney, and Kathleen Kennedy is the one that's taking it away. We have to step back and wonder what life would have been without her at the helm. If George Lucas stayed at the helm for a lot of his movies and actually right the ship and wrote something absolutely amazing, it's real shame to see, because I am still a Harrison Ford fan. I from Indy 1 to Star Wars to The Fugitive to so many more classic hits that the guy has put out. And now it's just, this is where we are. Hell, I even didn't mind The Force Awakens because I thought the movie was setting things up. It was the two after that just completely destroyed the franchise. Well, anyway, this is where we're at now. Will Kathleen Kennedy still hold her job? It'll be hard to say, and we have to wait to find out, because I don't know if I believe the rumors or if it's trending, because it just happens to trend every time one of her movies makes it to the big screen. Until next time, I'm your proud Canadian Phoenix Cineshadow, signing off here. Don't forget to like and subscribe.